We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Steve and Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2115. Today, Jill and I are talking about how to find mobile home lots with high profit potential. All week this week, we're talking about mobile homes.
I thought this was Land Academy.
I know. It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
To add this to buying and selling land.
Yeah, I like how you explained it yesterday. So they start popping up once in a while because they're not marked correctly. It's very easy to have them slip through the cracks with the assessor data and not have, they just don't show up kind of thing. So you send out your land mailer and here they come.
Depending on, we'll get into the topic here in a second, but what this episode is really about is buying properties that are conducive to putting mobile homes, installing a mobile home on it. Boy, it's not every property or every municipality that where this works. There's a huge social stigma still associated with mobile homes, even though it's the very definition of affordable housing.
Right.
And so, in fact, a couple of days ago, Jill and I, we had an opportunity. It was a whimsical scenario to go through a mobile home plant.
It was really cool.
A manufacturing plant, where they start with 2x4s and a house comes out at the other end.
It was really cool.
Just fantastic opportunity. If you ever get the opportunity wherever you live to do that, It changes the way you look at real estate. I like modular homes and mobile homes.
I do too.
Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy member Discord forum and take a deep dive into land related topics by popular requests.
Okay, Josh wrote, quick sanity check. If I'm trolling and finding areas with good sold to currently on market ratio over the past 12 months, like 6-1, holy moly, that's a great. But the numbers are something like 40 sold and then 7 active on the market. And then the Realtor.com days on market is between 50 and 70. Is that too little overall activity? Meaning the strong ratio, it's a strong ratio, but the market doesn't have a lot of activity or enough activity to move property. Would that be considered a slow market? How would this impact mailer response rate? Or is the latest quote of 5,000 to 6,000 mailers per deal for raw land still applicable? Finally, anyone got a crystal ball? Thanks in advance. That's good.
Wow, this is a great question. Really intelligent question. The red, green, yellow test is something I devised, if you're new, a long time ago, to look at a zip code relative to other adjacent zip codes or zip codes in the immediate market and gauge them against one another. And so when you have a real low days on market in one zip code, but not so much on another zip code, that's better. What Josh here is asking is what he's identified as something's wrong. And that's reading between the lines of this question. The red, green, yellow test is a double-edged sword. Sometimes you'll run 5 zip codes and they'll all be very similar and they pass. There's as many sold properties this month as has been listed. That's a 1-to-1 ratio. That makes sense. Gonna mail it. What he's saying here is something's weird. I have 6 times more properties that have been sold in the last 12 months over ones that have been listed or ones that are actually on the market. That indicates to me something's wrong. And I don't mean wrong with the market. I mean, something's strange with the data. So this red, green, yellow test is a double-edged sword. Not only are you getting confirmation that you should be mailing it, you're just looking for weird stuff. It might be weird good. It might be weird bad. When you see something where there's so many more properties that have been sold to properties that are active or listed, you need to find out why. The answer why to that question is whether or not you're going to go spend thousands of dollars on mail and work the area. So if this came up with something I was doing, North Carolina is famous for this exact scenario. What is it? Is it a subdivision that somebody sold out separate APNs and they're all out? Was a fire sale? Was it? I mean, who knows why that happens? But what you find out there might be great. It might really support what you're trying to do. It might tell you, no way, this is just a strange thing that happened over the last 12 months and everybody liquidated. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It's your side of the sheet. So I'm just
I don't like this. I don't like when there's weird stuff.
I'm even wondering if he even got to the red, yellow, green test yet, because he talks about trolling. I think he's still at that point. Before the red, yellow, green test. So I think
that's what's going on.
I think that what he's picking up on is good, and then I would even take it to the red, yellow, green test, and that will tell you for sure.
The whole point to this is Jill's absolutely right. I misread this. If you're on Zillow trolling around, looking for markets that might work, the next step after that is to support your theory.
Right.
Support it with the actual data. And we show you how to do that in great detail in the Land Academy program. And then you will get to the bottom of it that way.
Yep.
There could be all kinds of strange settings left over in Zillow. Ask me how I know this. Strange things left over in Zillow from the last 22 times that you've been looking at whatever you're looking at. And you haven't reset all that stuff yet, which is making it's screwing up your numbers.
That could be too. It could be a little operator error.
What I do, I always have the waterfront button.
You do?
I always look for waterfront property. And then a day will go by and I'll go back in there and say, there's something wrong with the market. No, we're just looking at waterfront property.
Got it.
Today's topic, how to find mobile home lots with high profit potential. Philosophically, when you find something that has high profit potential to you, and I'll describe something I found a couple of days ago, it's usually rooted in the fact that nobody else knows about it or nobody else sees that potential. The very definition of the French word entrepreneur means looking at stuff differently than everybody else. So I found a property in an area where we buy and sell properties all the time. We know the market, we know the people, we know the real estate agents, we know what the county's going to say when we try to do stuff. And I found a property on 5 acres, just the biggest pile of crap house there ever was. It was on 2.5 acres, and I know what the zoning is there, and I know what's possible with that particular zoning. So it would be very possible for us to buy this very on the MLS, this underpriced on the MLS pile of crap property on 2.5 acres. Jill and I can go in and split it and make it 1.5 acres each or 1.25 acres each. And the county allows mobile homes to be installed on that. So I could tap in on the second new lot once it's split, install a mobile home, not have to put water, sewer, or anything else in there, just tap into the existing stuff. And now this $50,000 or $80,000 acquisition is $40,000 because I have to split it among 2 lots. I know a mobile home is going to cost $130,000, $140,000 to install at the end because the utilities are there. Now I've got a $600,000 asset, potential sell side asset, where I'm going to pay about $80,000 for it.
Where does it start? Back at that, where would you recommend someone start at this? Really start with a county and just start researching what's possible? Or would you start researching like pretty new mobile homes in this area that are selling and seeing what other people are doing and then digging in? That's
it. Step 1 is exactly what Jill said. Horse around on the internet on realtor.com or Zillow. Zillow is easier to work through and find sellers, whether they're active or sold, who have sold or are active properties that are brand new mobile homes and how much they're selling for. And that's our very first indication that you will know very quickly if it's possible in that area. Start in Texas, and you will see people aren't in the business to lose money. So if somebody's buying property, land, and putting mobile homes on it and reselling it pretty regularly, that's an area where it's possible the municipality is signing off on it if they even care. In some places in Texas, they don't care at all.
True.
And if there's more importantly, a sell side market for it. There's some places that are so rural that it doesn't matter how cheap the property is or brand new. No one wants to live there.
What's the pricing break point? Not break point as far as selling, but it does need to be selling. Like if it's going to cost, buying the land, and you do put in the utilities. Let's just even go there because sometimes that's needed. And you drop a mobile on it. What's the sweet spot? If it's above $300,000, when, as a target sale price, you're making enough money, it's worth your while. But if it's, because you know what I mean? Some you can't do this if you're going to spend more on the mobile than it's all going to go for at the end, kind of thing. I could buy your new one for $150,000 or for $130,000. I can buy this one that's 10 years old right next door. You're not going to make that much money.
Yeah. What Jill's really saying is, you have to start from the end.
Yeah.
So if you're on Zillow and you're seeing properties that are just real low days on market and they're selling for $400,000 and they're brand new or even used, you know that market commands or supports a $400,000 sale price. Mm-hmm. Well, I can work with that.
Right.
And then I work backwards from there. Mobile home's going to cost $150,000, all the installation and the utilities, whether you're going to hook them up or create the utilities yourself, costs X amount in that area. And it starts to become an exercise in fantastic. I know I can sell it for 400. Now, how do I manage my expenses so that my expenses in the project for us anyway are total 300,
right?
And land is in there. So you have to back into it. That is the answer to how to find mobile home lots with high profit potential. It's by looking at what other people are doing in the area.
Mm-hmm. And what people are buying.
After you're in it for decades, you're going to just be able to smell it.
Yeah.
You're going to say, oh my God, no one's doing this here at all. This is what Joe and I do. Just because we have we've just been doing it for so long, we can tell other houses are selling. If houses are selling for $600,000 or $700,000, no one is building or developing mobile homes anywhere. And the county says, yeah, we would love for you to do that, which is harder to find than it sounds. Joe's New Year resolution at work here. Mm-hmm. I don't want to make this sound easy because it's not.
True.
But if you put the time in, work the steps, it's crazy profitable.
Mm-hmm.
Join us tomorrow where we're going to talk about pricing mobile home lots for maximum returns. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. We are Jack and Jill. Information
and inspiration.
Excuse me.
Irritation, inflammation.
All of that leads to buying undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.